In the heart of the Galactic Council, a large room filled with bright lights and strange symbols buzzed with excitement. Representatives from different alien races gathered around a long oval table. They came from far and wide, their ships arriving in a colorful parade of shapes and sizes. Today they would discuss a new threat, humanity. The room echoed with voices as the council members debated the implications of humanity's rapid expansion across the galaxy. Many were worried about Earth and its ambitious plans. The young and eager ambassador from the planet Zoktar, named Vera, believed the time had come to take action. Her bright purple skin glimmered under the lights as she passionately addressed the council. "We cannot sit idly by while humans spread their influence," Vera exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with determination. "They have already taken over several nearby planets, and if we do not act now, they will soon reach our homeworlds." A murmur of agreement rippled through the room. Some council members nodded, their antennae twitching in nervousness. Others exchanged worried glances, sensing the rising tension. Among them was Ambassador Xylo, a wise elder from the planet Glaros. With his deep blue skin and long, flowing tentacles, he looked like a creature from a dream. He raised his hand for silence. "Let us not rush into war," Xylo cautioned, his voice steady. "Humans are unpredictable, but they are also clever and resilient. We must understand their intentions before taking such drastic measures." But Vera was not easily swayed. "Understanding will not protect us. I have seen what humans can do. They are resourceful and will do anything to defend their territory. We must strike first before they strike us." Her words echoed with urgency, igniting fear in some hearts. As the debate continued, different representatives shared their views. Some spoke of their encounters with humans, recalling stories of their bravery and their innovative technology. Others highlighted humans' capacity for violence, recalling past conflicts that had resulted in great destruction. The council chamber filled with voices, each alien trying to persuade the others of their point of view. A tall, slender alien with shimmering scales named Tarok stood up. "We cannot forget the humans' history. They fought against their own kind for centuries. What makes us think they will not turn on us when the time comes?" His sharp voice cut through the air, sending shivers through the council members. In the back of the room, a quiet representative from the planet Veldor spoke softly. "Perhaps we should try diplomacy instead of war. A message could reach Earth, asking for a peaceful dialogue. There might be a way to coexist." Vera shook her head. "Diplomacy? Do you think humans will listen? They have shown they prefer to use force rather than reason." "We need to prepare our fleets for battle." Her passionate plea fueled the fire of fear in the room. As discussions grew heated, the council members struggled to find common ground. Some were ready to take up arms, while others were hesitant, afraid of the consequences of war. The tension in the room was palpable, with voices rising and falling like waves crashing against the shore. Finally, Xylo took a deep breath and spoke again. "We must remember that fear can lead to mistakes. Let us not allow our worries to dictate our actions. We should gather more information about humanity before making a decision." Vera frowned, but she could see that some council members were swayed by Xylo's words. The debate continued, with both sides presenting their arguments. But as the hours passed, a sense of unease settled over the council. The chamber buzzed with uncertainty. Would they decide to wage war against humanity, or would they choose a path of understanding? As the meeting dragged on, the fate of many worlds hung in the balance, and the shadows of fear began to cloud their judgment. The Galactic Council's decision would change everything. If they chose war, they would awaken a force unlike any they had faced before. If they chose peace, they might just open the door to a new era of cooperation. But for now, uncertainty reigned supreme, and the tension in the room felt thicker than ever. As the Galactic Council continued to debate, the atmosphere in the room grew tense. Representatives exchanged heated words, their voices rising and falling like the waves of a distant ocean. In the midst of the chaos, a calm voice broke through the noise. It was Ambassador Ilyara, a respected leader from the ancient planet Venera. Her silver skin shimmered in the light, and her long, flowing hair seemed to move as if it had a life of its own. "May I have your attention, please?" Ilyara called, her voice steady and clear. The room fell silent, and all eyes turned to her. Ilyara had a reputation for her wisdom, and many council members respected her opinion. She had traveled the galaxy, meeting different species and learning their ways. "I understand the fears that drive us to consider war," she began, her eyes scanning the council. "But before we act, I ask you to listen to my experience with humans. They are not just beings of war, they are complex and capable of great kindness." The council members leaned in, intrigued. Ilyara continued, "I have visited Earth several times. During my travels, I met many humans, scientists, artists, and leaders. They are not just warriors, they are dreamers and creators. Their ability to innovate is unmatched, but it is their capacity for compassion that truly sets them apart." Some council members exchanged skeptical glances, but Ilyara pressed on. "When I first arrived on Earth, I was welcomed with open arms. Humans are curious beings, eager to learn about others. They value friendship and cooperation. I have seen them work together to overcome great challenges. Remember the stories of their leaders who fought for peace, not war?" Vera rolled her eyes but remained silent, letting Ilyara speak. The ambassador's words had a soothing effect on some members of the council. They began to think of humans not just as potential enemies, but as complex beings who could become allies. "I also witnessed their darker side," Ilyara admitted, her tone growing somber. "Yes, humans have fought each other, and at times they have unleashed terrible destruction. But we must understand that they often fight for survival or out of fear. They are capable of both great harm and great good. If we act with aggression, we may push them to defend themselves fiercely." Ambassador Xylo nodded, agreeing with Ilyara's perspective. "The balance of power is delicate. Attacking humans could provoke a response that none of us are prepared for. We have seen how they band together in times of crisis. If we become their enemy, they might unite in ways we cannot imagine." Vera finally spoke up again, frustration evident in her voice. "But what if we wait too long? What if they become too powerful? We cannot ignore the potential threat they pose." Ilyara's expression softened. "I do not suggest we ignore the threat. Instead, we must find a better way. Let us send a message to Earth, an invitation for dialogue. We can learn their intentions before making any rash decisions." Some members of the council began to murmur in agreement, while others still looked skeptical. "What if they refuse to listen?" one representative questioned. "Then we will know where we stand," Ilyara replied firmly. "But without giving them a chance, we may lose out on a valuable partnership. We have much to learn from each other. Humans are resilient, but they also seek understanding. If we reach out with open hearts, we may find common ground." The room buzzed with discussion as council members debated Ilyara's proposal. Some were still frightened by the idea of humans, while others saw the potential for friendship. As the conversation continued, Ilyara felt a flicker of hope. She knew that understanding was possible. If they could avoid conflict and seek cooperation, they might open the door to a new chapter in their history. As the meeting drew to a close, Ambassador Ilyara stood tall, her heart pounding with anticipation. She had planted a seed of change in the council's minds. Now it was time for the leaders to decide the fate of both their worlds. Would they choose war or the chance for peace? The weight of their decision hung heavy in the air, but Ilyara remained hopeful. On Earth, news of the Galactic Council's meeting spread quickly. A talented strategist named Captain Mira Thompson watched the reports unfold on her screen. She was known for her sharp mind and quick thinking. As she observed the rising tensions among the alien races, she felt a sense of urgency. Humanity needed to act fast. Mira gathered her team in the command center, a large room filled with advanced technology. The walls were covered with maps and holographic displays, showing the galaxy and the positions of various alien ships. Her team consisted of scientists, diplomats, and military leaders, all ready to defend their home. "We cannot sit back and let them decide our fate," Mira said, her voice strong and clear. "We need to show the Galactic Council that humans are not the enemy. We must prepare a message of peace and strength." The team nodded, knowing the importance of their mission. Mira continued, "We need to put together a delegation to send to the Council. This delegation must showcase our achievements and our desire for cooperation. It is crucial that they see we are not a threat." Dr. Aisha Patel, a brilliant scientist, chimed in, "We can highlight our technological advancements. Our innovations in energy and medicine could impress them. It shows we are not just warriors, we are creators." Mira smiled at Aisha's enthusiasm. "Exactly. We must also share our stories of survival and unity. Our history is filled with examples of people coming together in tough times. If we can show them our resilience, they may reconsider their stance." As the team brainstormed ideas, they worked late into the night. They created presentations, videos, and demonstrations of human achievements. They also rehearsed speeches, ensuring every member of the delegation could communicate their points clearly. The next morning, the team stood ready. The atmosphere was tense, but Mira felt a surge of confidence. Today, we are not just representing ourselves, we are representing all of humanity. We must show them our best side. The delegation boarded their ship, the SS Unity, a state-of-the-art vessel equipped with the latest technology. As they launched into space, the crew marveled at the beauty of the stars. They were nervous but determined to make an impression on the Galactic Council. After a few days of travel, they finally arrived at the Council's headquarters, a massive structure floating among the stars. It was beautiful, with glowing lights and intricate designs that reflected the diversity of the galaxy. As they approached, Mira could feel the weight of their mission pressing down on her. The human delegation was led into the council chamber, where representatives from various alien races waited. The room was filled with tension, and Mira could sense the skepticism in the air. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of the importance of their message. Mira stepped forward to address the council. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council, we come in peace. We are not here to threaten you, but to show that humanity seeks cooperation. We have much to offer and much to learn." She presented the first video, highlighting human achievements in technology, medicine, and art. The images showed humans working together to solve problems, from curing diseases to exploring the depths of the ocean. As the video played, she noticed some council members leaning forward, their interest piqued. Next, Aisha stepped up to speak about their energy innovations. "We have developed clean energy sources that could benefit all worlds. Imagine a future where every planet can thrive without harming its environment." Her passion shone through, and it was clear she believed in their vision. The council listened, some nodding in agreement. Mira felt a glimmer of hope as the members reacted positively to their presentations. The atmosphere began to shift, and she could sense that the tide was turning. Finally, Mira shared a personal story about humanity's history of overcoming challenges. She spoke of unity during times of crisis, showcasing how humans had banded together to fight for peace and progress. Her words resonated deeply, and she saw the council members begin to exchange glances, their skepticism starting to fade. After their presentation, the council took a moment to discuss what they had seen. Mira and her team waited anxiously, hearts pounding. Would the council accept their message? Would they find a way to work together? The fate of their future hung in the balance, and for the first time, they felt a flicker of hope amidst the uncertainty. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with energy as the human delegation awaited the council's decision. Mira Thompson and her team exchanged nervous glances, their hearts pounding. They had put everything on the line to convince the aliens that humanity was not a threat. Now the moment of truth was upon them. The council president, a tall alien named Zoran with vibrant green skin and large, expressive eyes, stood to address the room. "We have listened to the humans' presentation," he began, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Their achievements are indeed impressive. However, doubts still linger about their true intentions." Mira's stomach sank. She could feel the tension rising in the room. Zoran continued, "Some council members believe that humanity is still a danger. We must discuss this further." As he spoke, whispers rippled through the assembly, and a few representatives shook their heads in disagreement. Suddenly, the large screen at the front of the chamber flickered, and an urgent alarm blared throughout the room. A holographic image of a massive alien ship appeared on the display. The ship, dark and menacing, was approaching rapidly. It was a feared warship known as the Dreadnought, belonging to a ruthless alien race called the Zethrans. "This is an attack!" one representative cried, his voice filled with fear. "We must prepare our defenses!" Zoran quickly regained control of the situation. "Silence! We must not act rashly. We should find out their intentions before we take action." His voice was calm, but the tension in the air was thick. Mira seized the moment. "President Zoran, we have to act quickly. The Zethrans do not negotiate. If we wait, we may lose the chance to protect ourselves." She could feel her team rallying behind her, their determination shining through the fear. Zoran considered her words, and for a moment silence filled the room. Then he nodded. "Very well. We will send a message to the Zethrans, but we must prepare for the worst." As the council scrambled to organize a defense, Mira's team quickly joined the effort. They all gathered in a control room where screens displayed data and alerts. Mira pointed to the approaching ship. If we work together, we can defend ourselves. We know the Zethran's tactics. Let's prepare our weapons and set up a defense perimeter. Aisha began coordinating with the Council's military leaders. We need to position our ships strategically. If we can create a blockade, we might be able to slow them down. As the humans and aliens worked side by side, Mira felt a sense of unity forming. They had entered this chamber as potential enemies, but now they were fighting for a common cause. The once divided council members were now focused, working tirelessly to prepare for the impending attack. Suddenly, alarms blared again. "The Zethrans have entered our space!" a technician shouted. "They are not responding to our communications." Mira's heart raced. "We need to be ready. Let's get our ships into formation." She watched as the alien ships and human vessels aligned in preparation for battle. The air was charged with adrenaline, and the reality of the situation set in. The Zethran warship grew larger on the screens, dark and menacing. It loomed like a shadow over the Council's headquarters. Mira knew that they had to fight for their survival. As the first shots rang out, the Council sprang into action. Beams of energy shot across the void of space, illuminating the darkness. The humans and aliens fought together, their ships weaving and dodging, returning fire against the Zethrans. Mira's heart raced as she maneuvered the SS Unity alongside the other ships. They worked as one, coordinating attacks and defending against incoming fire. Each time a Zethran ship was destroyed, the Council members cheered, their voices filled with hope. But the battle was far from over. The Zethrans pressed on, determined to break through their defenses. Mira could see the strain on the faces of her team and the alien warriors. They were fighting for their lives and their futures, united against a common enemy. In that moment, Mira realized the truth. They were no longer just humans and aliens. They were allies, fighting together against a force that threatened them all. As the battle raged on, hope surged within her. They could win this fight, but only if they stayed united. The battle in space raged on, the SS Unity and the other ships weaving through the chaos of the Zethran assault. Captain Mira Thompson felt a surge of determination as she coordinated her team and the Council's forces. The Zethrans were relentless, but their combined strength was beginning to turn the tide. "Focus fire on the lead Zethran ship," Mira shouted, her voice ringing clear over the sounds of alarms and energy blasts. Her crew responded quickly, targeting the ship with precision. Bright beams of energy shot from their weapons, striking the Zethran vessel with force. As they fought side by side, Mira noticed a change in the atmosphere of the Council members. The fear that had once dominated the chamber was now replaced with unity and resolve. Each alien ship moved in sync with the humans, forming a barrier against the Zethran onslaught. Aisha's voice crackled over the comms. "We've disabled their shields! Now's our chance!" She directed the weapons crew to concentrate their fire. Mira felt a rush of hope as their combined firepower began to take its toll on the Zethran ships. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the SS Unity. Mira grabbed the console to steady herself. "Status report!" she demanded, adrenaline coursing through her veins. "Minor damage to the starboard side, Captain," came the quick reply from her engineer. "We can continue, but we need to stay on high alert." Mira nodded, her mind racing. "All right, let's regroup and push forward. We need to make sure we don't get separated from the fleet." Just then, Zoran, the Council President, appeared on her screen. "Mira, we have to take out their command ship. It's the key to their coordination. Without it, they will struggle to fight effectively." Mira agreed. "I'm on it. Let's make that our target." She rallied her crew, urging them to push their ships forward, dodging enemy fire as they advanced toward the massive Zethran command ship at the heart of the enemy formation. The Zethrans fought back fiercely, but Mira's team was focused. "Weapons ready! On my mark!" she shouted. Her heart raced as they closed the distance to the command ship. "Now!" Mira ordered. They unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, striking the Zethran command ship with everything they had. The enemy vessel shook under the impact, and Mira could see the Zethrans scrambling to respond. But just as victory seemed within reach, the Zethran ship retaliated with a powerful wave of fire. Mira's heart sank as she watched an allied ship take a direct hit, exploding into a shower of debris. The reality of the battle hit hard. They were fighting for their lives. "Stay focused!" Mira shouted, rallying her team. "We can't let their attacks break our spirit. We must keep pushing." As they pressed on, the combined forces of humans and aliens fought with everything they had. Mira felt a sense of camaraderie building among them. They were no longer just a collection of different species. They were a united force, fighting against a common enemy. Finally, they managed to break through the Zethran defenses. Mira's ship soared into position to strike the command ship directly. "This is it! Target the command center!" she shouted, her voice filled with urgency. The crew worked in unison, firing a concentrated beam at the Zethran command center. The energy blast struck true, piercing through the ship's defenses. The command ship trembled as it absorbed the blow, and Mira could see sparks and smoke billowing from its hull. For a moment, everything fell silent. Then, the command ship erupted in a massive explosion, sending shockwaves throughout the battlefield. Cheers erupted from Mira's crew and the Allied forces as they witnessed the Zethran ship disintegrate. The remaining Zethran ships faltered, their coordination lost. The tide of battle had shifted in favor of the humans and their new allies. Mira felt a surge of triumph wash over her, but she knew the fight wasn't over yet. "Don't let up," she commanded. "We need to finish this." With the Zethran command ship destroyed, the remaining Zethran forces began to retreat. The combined fleet pressed their advantage, driving the enemy back, inching closer to total victory. Mira watched in awe as her team and the council members fought bravely, their determination shining through. As the last Zethran ship fled into the darkness of space, Mira and her crew let out a collective sigh of relief. They had done it. They had fought together, united against a common enemy, and emerged victorious. In the aftermath, as the ships regrouped, Zoran addressed the crew. "Today, we proved that our strength lies in our unity. We faced a great danger, and together we overcame it." Mira nodded, her heart swelling with pride. They had not only defended their worlds, but had also forged bonds that would last far beyond this battle. As they turned their attention back to their futures, she knew that humanity had a place among the stars, standing side by side with their new allies.